On today's bus episode, we are going to be installing a trailer hitch. We have the Kurt 13701. It's a adjustable trailer hitch for RVs. It actually works really well for this bus. This is the hardware, and you can adjust these mounts anywhere along the trailer hitch. But there's a little bit of a problem. With the CNG bus, because it's a bus, this exhaust comes across and it exits the other side of the bus. Typically an exhaust will come and exit the passenger side, but because people board through the passenger side, they don't want exhaust fumes getting into the people's lungs. So they ran this pipe, and it's actually in the way of the adjustable mount. And I'll show you. It's supposed to mount right there where you see those holes, and as you can see, the exhaust is in the way, and the same is on the other side. So the only way to fix this is to move the entire exhaust back about 3 or 4 inches, and we're going to do that by cutting using a reciprocating saw right along this weld, and we're going to move the entire sleeve up, and that should allow clearance for the trailer hitch. To prevent fires, I'm putting down a big piece of plywood and also a welding blanket. Because we're in a forest environment, we don't want to start a forest fire. And just in case something goes bad, I have this bucket of water to pour on any flames that might start. Finally got through. Now with the exhaust cut in half, I can remove the back part, install the hitch, and then put the back part back on with the hitch on, so then I can determine how much I need to cut off here. So this new piece I'm actually gonna have to weld to the other side of the exhaust, and I've never welded before, so I'm gonna practice welding and we'll see how that goes. But first, I'm going to install the actual hitch to make sure it looks good, and that doesn't require any welding, it's just bolts. So I temporarily put these in with a bolt. There's no bolt on the other side because I have to tap that hole. Same with that side. And I temporarily put the hitch in to see what it looks like. And it looks good. Check that out. So I found the correct drill bit for the correct screw size, which is a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to drill this. I'm going to do a quick pilot hole. That way the drill bit doesn't slide out. So we add more cutting fluid to the drill bit. I highly suggest this because it extends the life of your bit, so you're not constantly buying new ones, and it makes it cut faster from my experience. For the holes that keep the trailer hitch from sliding left and right, I decided to take the trailer hitch off because it's going to be much easier to drill just straight down. And these bolts are also bigger, so I'm using a hole saw, and I gotta cut out 4 of them. Oops, gotta cut out 4 of them. First hole done. Now because I use this cutting fluid, it should look really nice. Should be a clean hole. Now I have 3 more holes to go, and I will cut to when that is done. To do the back side, I'm just going to lift it up because the hitch sticks out. So now it's hovering on these pieces of wood. It'll make it really easy to do the final 2 holes. Now that all the holes are drilled, I'm just going to slide them in to each little bracket and tighten them down, secure them with these bolts. So if you're wondering how you can get the bolt in, because the instructions ask you to put it in this way, I will show you how I'm going to do it. And it's a little unconventional, but it should work. I'm going to take a 15/16 socket, a socket extension, and the nut. Slide this in like this. I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it down and catch it like that. And then, it's a little hard with holding the camera, but I'm going to then switch hands. So I'm holding it with this side. And then I'm going to take this 1/2-inch socket right here, slide it in, and attach it. So now you have the 1/2-inch, and it's holding this. And I now have a bolt on the other side, and they should just thread right in. Yeah, I didn't think this far. Now it's kind of stuck, so I'll have to try and fish that out with some pliers real quick. Okay, it only took about 30 seconds to fish that out. And now for the other side, I'm actually going to go the same orientation with the bolt. And now it doesn't state in the instructions to do this, but I'm going to be adding red Loctite to the screws, and I forgot to add it to the first one, so I'm actually going to have to remove this and put it back on. But it should be easier this time. I actually may be able to stick some Loctite right at the end of the threads and just screw it back in without having to take it fully off. Red Loctite, this is blue. And time to screw it back in. You'll definitely need a 15/16 wrench, and you can stick the wrench in to hold the bolt as you tighten. And with the wrench in, I'm gonna go on this side and tighten it. Now for the other side, I'm actually gonna use this wrench, and I'm gonna put Loctite on to this first. And as far as the wrench goes, and all this is really hard to do holding the camera, so, but I'm gonna put the wrench nut up against the wall and kind of feed it all the way to the hole. I don't know if you can see that. And this is actually a much better way of doing it. I also haven't put any Loctite on any of these bolts, so I'm going to be doing that as well. Now to properly weld this to the sleeve to the other end of the exhaust, once I cut it, it needs to be ground down to bare metal and clean it up so the weld can actually work properly. And we're going to do that with an angle grinder. So I cut off this about 6 inches, sanded down the section that's going to be welded. I did some test welding over there. I feel semi-confident. I attached the other side of the exhaust so I can do the weld now, and hopefully it comes out good. Well, I didn't think I'd be welding today, but here we go. All right, wish me luck. Okay, so I finished the weld, but I completely forgot to record the finish. But that's what it looks like. It's all right. I think it's pretty good for a first time. It's already nighttime, but yeah, that finishes that. It's all bolted up. Everything's bolted up. and I installed the hitch with a lock. Amazon lock with the key, and everything looks good. So an issue I'm having with the Surron is storage for the shuttle bus. Storing this inside the shuttle bus is not practical, and the original plan is to put the Surron on the back where the trailer hitch is, and until I build kind of a contraption back here, I purchased a trailer hitch motorcycle carrier, and we're gonna install that. This was $180 on Amazon. Black Widow brand aluminum motorcycle carrier. So this top piece appears to be the ramp because it's got the lip right here, and we'll see how this gets put together. So just an initial few things off the bat. This is not aluminum, this is steel painted. These are two aluminum. The packaging is pretty terrible. It's falling off everywhere. And the welds on this look pretty garbage. And look at the dinged up, like, I don't know what happened to this thing, but frankly, I'd return it, but I don't really care. So as long as everything works, it's packaged pretty terribly. The instructions though do seem easy to follow. So it appears you take the thing that holds the bike, pointy part up, center it, take some bolts, washers, nuts, and attach the steel plates. And then these steel plates have holes on the sides that correspond to the rack. Do that on this side, and it should not go anywhere. So this actually went together surprisingly easy. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it's required a few bolts. I think we have 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 bolts in total. These were 10 millimeter, the rest were all 13. Comes with this anti-jiggling clamp thingy. And yeah, so we're gonna put that in and install it now. Hello. Do you like it? Do you approve? I think she approves. Out with the old. And in with the new. All right, well, this isn't gonna work. It doesn't fit. So this kind of sucks. All right, so I'm in a random parking lot right now. I picked up this at the closest Amazon hub locker, and I'm going to test it to see if this hole will work. I'm really hoping it does, because I'm pretty screwed if it doesn't. And it doesn't fit. All right, so it's definitely been way more difficult than it should be. I stopped by Harbor Freight, picked up these 3 things, about 75 bucks. I am now in a random parking lot, and not where I ideally would like to be, but we have a hitch extension, so it should bring the hitch out 12 inches. And then we have this, which will also bring it out a little bit, and then also I could put I'll have 2 ports. This will have the motorcycle rack, and below it I'll be able to hook up a hitch if I wanted to of anything. So, and then this is an anti-rattle, and I have a few more anti-rattles because I have so many extensions everywhere. So we'll start with the extender and see how it goes. All right, as you can see, I finally got it done. It took like a few hours. I decided not to add the razor on it, just the extender. The raise thingy is not gonna work. After all this, multiple days, I'm realizing I'm just gonna have to make my own hitch. So from here to here, I'm gonna replace all that. I'm gonna make my own extension, and the extension is also gonna go up, and it's gonna fit it perfectly. Everything else I see online, nothing kind of works for it. So and I might as well learn how to weld anyways. But have the anti-rattle clamp there, another one there, and the bike seems to not really go anywhere, or less than it did before. It's strapped down and I have a cover over it, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully no one steals it throughout the night.